When passing, you should use the inside of the foot. That is the area from the base of the big toe to the central area of the heel, under the ankle bone. Use your strong foot to kick the ball at a right angle. The belly button should be facing the player receiving the pass. Your non-kicking foot should be alongside the ball. Your knee and ankle joints held firm. Body over the ball, head, eyes on the ball, and use your arms to keep balance. You then follow through to the target. You want to run up to the ball at a 45-degree angle. When you strike the ball, you want your weak foot to be at the very close on the right side of the ball, depending on which foot you are. When striking the ball, you want to hit the ball with your laces at the lower center part, so that when you hit it, it will get the most height possible. You also want to have little follow through, so this reduces the risk of curving the ball too much or getting too much backspin. When shooting, you want to select a target and commit to it, even if you feel the shot will be blocked because deflections result in many goals. Keep your head down looking at the ball. The planted foot needs to be about half a yard besides the ball. The planted foot should be pointing in the direction of your desired target. Lock your ankle of the shooting foot. This is very important as you don't want your leg to be hitting the ball with a relaxed ankle, as it could lead in breaking the bones. Striking the ball in the center or to bottom half of the ball. Follow through with your shooting foot, and it should be the first foot to hit the ground after your swing. Don't be tempted to admire your shot after you shoot. Keep your head down, follow through, and execute the fundamentals. You should start at an angle on the ball, most likely 45 degrees, as this will get you the best amount of curve. You then look at the wall and the goalkeeper to see how they are positioned. Depending on how they are positioned, you can adjust your shot accordingly. Take 2 or 3 steps back. Don't take too many, as this gives the goalkeeper more time to prepare for your shot. And taking too many steps could lead in you putting too much power in the ball when you want to focus on placement. Take a deep breath to calm yourself and relax. Look up one more time, check the position of the ball and the goalkeeper. Start your run up. When you strike the ball, you want to be hitting it with the inside of your foot. This will, rather than generate too much power, it will give you the ability to curve the ball around the wall and then the keeper. And hopefully this will result in you scoring. Overlapping is where one player who's controlling the ball is confronted by a defender and one of his supporting players makes a run either left or right of him to give him support. The first player with the ball would then put a through ball through to the supporting player, who would then beat the defender, and this could possibly result in more space created or goals. Parking the bus is commonly known as taking 1, 2, or possibly 3 of your midfielders and to put them in the defensive line. Teams would do this where they might be under pressure from an attacking team, where they may be up by 1 goal in the late half of the game and they don't want to concede. They don't want to risk conceding, so they take midfield players and put them in defence to make sure that the attacking players can't score any goals. More players in defence means that balls that are going through will be covered and more crosses coming from the sides will be headed away. All-out attack is where some teams would bring their midfield and some defenders up forwards on the pitch to give the attack loads of support to try and score 1 or 2 goals. Examples of this would be when Newcastle were losing 2-1 against Huddersfield. They brought all their players up the pitch and at a corner brought their keeper up to try and get as many players in the box as possible to try and win the header and score a goal.
Ben Chapman.
Cross it over.
Oh! No!
Why?
He's missed it. Oh!
To spin a rugby ball, all you need to do is use two hands to grip the ball. Your strong hand should be at the bottom, while your weak hand should be on the top, short of holding it on both top and bottom sides. You want to twist towards your target, as this will improve your spin and protect yourself against the tackle. Pull your arms to one side, and then throw your arms across your body in a sort of pendulum motion. Let go of the ball and follow through with your arms and fingers so your pass becomes quicker and more accurate. Some players hold the ball differently, but it is very subjective and up to opinion only.
Are you ready?
To complete a drop kick, you start off by holding the ball with two hands firmly in the middle of the ball, with your two toes facing towards where you're holding, and your head looking to where you want to kick the ball.
Are you ready?
You then take a 2 or 1 step run up. You drop the ball out of your hands. Make sure when you drop the ball, you drop it so you aim for the point of the ball to hit the floor and bounce straight back up. Then you bring your leg back and follow through with your foot and hit the ball at the lower center to get the most height and power.
Are you ready?
You want to hit the ball with your laces just curving onto the inside of your foot, as this will be the most accurate place to hit the ball with. You then follow through, either bringing your foot across the side of you or leading your foot through the ball. When you are regularly kicking a ball, you want the points in your hands to be facing away from you. You drop the ball with a slight run up. When you kick the ball, you want to be hitting it with your laces to get as much power as possible. The spiral doesn't matter as much. You just want to get as much height and power on the ball as possible. So hitting it with your laces directly in the center is what's going to do this. When throwing in from a line out, you want to hold the ball at the back with your weak hand and at the front with your strong hand. Use your strong hand as the generator of the power and your weak hand as a stabilizer to make sure that the ball doesn't have too much of a radical spin. When you're throwing the ball, you want to make sure that when you're thrusting backwards and you release forwards is where you generate the most power from. This tactic is where you line your defensive players up in a straight line across the field. The way to do this is by equaling up the number of players from your defensive side to the opposing team, whether it's from a ruck, a scrum, or while the ball is being moved. The number of defensive players in one particular area of the field should equal the amount of offensive players. You should have appropriate player matching. For example, you don't want to have your scrum half who is 5'2" against a prop who is 6'4" and 250 pounds. It just wouldn't work in a defensive game. You also want to stay flat and close to the gain line. Regardless of the situation, all players in the defensive line should be within a few feet of the gain line and arranged parallel to it. This limits the amount of space the offensive line has to work with, which makes it much easier to quickly advance to the ball carrier. When on the offense, as a scrum half, you should be looking to pass the ball to a player that is hitting the ball at pace. Hitting the ball at pace is when you start running before someone's passed the ball and they pass it flat in front of you so that when you catch it, you already have momentum building up. If someone tries to tackle you, you already have the speed and power to knock them over. This is a video of me in Bahrain playing for the Hurricanes. As you can see, I catch the ball, even though it is a bit of an awkward pass. I catch the ball at pace and run to the try line. An overlap is a situation in the game where an attacking line has more players in it than the defensive line coming to meet it. The attacking side may exploit the overlap using their superior numbers to break through the opposition's defensive line. If attackers outnumber the defenders by more than one, This is often termed as two-man overlap or three-man overlap, etc. If the attacking side fails to break through, usually due to poor execution, they are said to waste an overlap. This was exploited in the England versus Wales game, where Owen Farrell put a grubber kick through to a man that was unmarked on the wing as he picked it up and scored a try.
Joe, you're good. God bless.